Hi there again, and welcome back to Leanne's Sleepy Library. Sorry about any background noise you might hear. I think the bin men are in the street, and so the truck keeps being really loud. So, today I want to record the year in review book video. So, it's basically what 2021 has been like for me as a reader. Dom did this recently. I don't know if he was the original creator of it or if he took it from somebody else, but that's where I saw it anyway. I saw Dom do these questions, so thought I'd give it a go and just overall tell you about my year of reading this year. So let's hop straight into the questions. So, question number one is my favourite book of the entire year, and I think we all already know the answer to this question. If you're new to my channel, you might not know, but if you've watched most of my videos or any of my videos recently, you will know that these are just life right now for me. Gideon the Ninth, Harrow the Ninth. I love these books so much. I am very, very, very tempted to read them again before the year ends. Extremely tempted. And I wouldn't be surprised if that ends up happening. Just scrap all the ones that I've planned and just reread of my favourites because I've already read this one twice, this one once. I could make it 3 times. Twice. And then I'll read them again before Nona comes out. But yes, definitely my favourites this year. I adore Gideon the Ninth. It is just life. If you don't know already, Gideon the Ninth is about a woman who has been kind of outcast on the ninth house, which is her planet that she lives on. She's kind of outcast because people don't know where she came from, and she's just kind of there. She's trying to escape all the time, and she's very how do we describe Gideon? She's very witty in a very sarcastic way. She's got very dark and dry and dirty humour, I guess. And there's a lot of banter that goes on between her and certain other characters. And it's basically like it's sci-fi, it's fantasy, it's mystery, murder mystery, I guess. Like it's a whole mixture of genres, and it's fantastic. And I highly recommend the audiobook. You might be confused when you read it, but as long as you follow on and concentrate on the story, it's all good. And it's my favourite story of this year. And I don't think anything's going to beat that for a long time. It's going to have to be a really, really, really good book to push Gideon down the list because fantastic. So, yes, I'm going to shut up about Gideon now. So, question number 2 is your favourite series that you've started this year but not yet finished. I will just have a look on my tablet or my laptop because there's also stuff there. So there's quite a few series that I've not yet finished, so I will just have a look at the list and see what my favourite would probably be. I'm not going to count anything that I've caught up with and the next books aren't out yet. So, I probably should have already knew the answer to this, but currently the number one series that I've started and not yet finished, my favourite one of this year, is probably Senlin Ascends by Josiah Bancroft, and that's the Books of Babel series. So I only read Senlin Ascends last month in November, and I rated it 5 stars. I thought it was absolutely fantastic. It's like nothing I've ever really read before, and yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it. So that's my answer. I really enjoyed Senlin Ascends. It's about a teacher who goes on a honeymoon. He's just newly married, goes on a honeymoon to the Tower of Babel in his world, and thinking it's just a really nice holiday destination, they'll be able to go to the baths, spend a couple of weeks there and go home. But everything goes wrong. He loses his wife and he has to go and try and find it, and finds out that lots and lots of people in this tower are very corrupt, and it's not what he thought it was. Like the whole place in general was not what he thought it was. And I really enjoyed that first book. I'm very excited to jump into the second and continue on with this wonderful series that I've started reading. So that's my answer to question number 2. Question number 3 is your favourite series you've finished this year. That's a much smaller list, let me just say, because I've started many more series than I've finished. So, what What have I actually finished? So I haven't actually finished that many books this year. That many series rather. So by proxy, it's probably going to have to be Crooked Kingdom by Leigh Bardugo. It was a very, very good book, so I'm not going to say, that's a bad choice. But I don't think I've actually finished that many. I will have by the end of December, hopefully, finished more. But currently, as it stands, that's probably the best book I've finished this year, the best series I've finished this year, because the other ones that I've finished, like, there's still more coming out in the future, so I can't really count them. So by proxy, it is this one, but it's not a bad choice. Like I say, it's very good. So, Crooked Kingdom, heists. It's brilliant. Heists, fantasy. I thoroughly enjoyed reading it, so not a bad choice, like I say. So, question number 4 is your favourite new author you've discovered this year? There's probably gonna have to be Tamsin Muir because at the very beginning of the year is when I first read Gideon the Ninth. I know I said I'd shut up about Gideon the Ninth, but apparently that ain't happening. This is asking me my favourite things, and Gideon just has my heart this year. It's oh, Gideon the Ninth is so wonderful. I love that book. I don't recommend it to everyone. There are going to be lots of people who don't like Gideon the Ninth, but I just thoroughly adore it, and it's life. So Tamsin Muir is probably my favourite author that I discovered this year. Another one is probably Nicholas Eames, who wrote the Band series. Is it in reach? I'll just tilt you up. So, top shelf up there, you can see Kings of the Wild. In the middle, at the end there. I don't want to get it down because I'm short. And I will probably have to stand on a chair to reach it. I'm not going to get it down right now, but the Band series that is still ongoing by Nicholas Eames. Nicholas Eames is a fantastic writer, and I thoroughly enjoy reading his work. So I'll give you 2 there because I've mentioned Gideon already. So, question number 5: your favourite new character of the year? Is this just going to be an advert for Gideon? It might end up being, but everything about that book. I'm trying to think of anybody else who could fill the spot. It's gonna be Gideon, isn't it? Help. Gideon the Ninth has taken over my life. Don't help. Don't help. I'm happy with that. My brain's just going blank trying to think of any other character that could even come close. I mean, I read a lot of good books. So it says favourite new character, so I can't mention anybody from Lord of the Rings. I can't mention anybody from The Wheel of Time. Well, I could mention somebody from The Wheel of Time, but I don't know if I'd put them like really up there still towards Gideon. Oh, I suppose I really like the main 2 characters from the Study of Dr. Sex. Same series. It's a short story from the Gideon, from the Locked series. But I could say Camilla and Palamedes. Camilla and Palamedes are fantastic characters. Still not like Gideon standard characters, but they were great. I really enjoyed that story. Actually, it was pretty cool to see one of the other houses and be on one of the other houses and have a whole new perspective. So yeah, thoroughly enjoyed reading that. The only other person I can think of is probably Tam from Bloody Rose, or Moog from Kings of the Wild. They're pretty cool characters. I really enjoyed those characters. So, and they were new to me this year, so I'll go for those 2. Yay! I'm just gonna keep mentioning the same books. I'm sorry. So, number 6, your favourite new release of the year. I've read quite a few new releases this year, I think. So, 6 Crimson Cranes by Elizabeth Lim came out this year. Very, very, very good book. But did Harrow come out this year? I think it did. No. This one won't be a Gideon answer. So, yeah, Six Crimson Cranes by Elizabeth Lim was fantastic. I thoroughly enjoyed reading that book. I had a very weird experience with it where I kept thinking I wasn't allowed to speak anymore because that's the curse in the book, is that she's not allowed to speak or else her brothers will die. So that was strange. I kept coming out of the book and thinking I wasn't allowed to speak. So a book's never quite had that effect on me, so I'll go for that. It was fantastic. I highly recommend if you like kind of YA fantasy. Brilliant, I really enjoyed that. So question 7, your favourite reread of the year? What was my favourite reread of the year? Let's see. I could say Gideon again because I technically read it twice this year. But I'm going to try and answer with a different thing. Okay, so this one's probably a toss-up between The Hobbit and The House in the Cerulean Sea, because I've reread both of those this year and they're both fantastic reads. And I probably can't choose between them because I love them both for very, very different reasons. And they're both very, very different stories, but I thoroughly enjoyed both rereads of those. So that's probably my answer for that one. Number 8, your biggest surprise of the year? Probably Senlin Ascends by Josiah Bancroft again, because I wasn't expecting to love it just quite as much as I did. There was a lot of hype around it, and I thought it was going to be kind of one of those times where there's lots of hype around a book and then you're disappointed by it, because that's happened to me quite a few times. But yeah, it was a big surprise because of how much I actually really, really enjoyed it, and I did not want to put that book down. So probably Senlin Ascends off the top of my head. I can't think of anything else that's quite shocked me so much apart from apart from Gideon the Ninth being like mind blown. My biggest disappointment of the year. Do I want to say, because people are going to hate me? All Systems Red, or the Murderbot Diaries, I guess. It was really, really hyped up, and I gave it a go. And I really like Murderbot. Don't get me wrong, the stories are pretty cool and the characters are pretty cool. I just don't think me and novellas go and vibe very well. I was expecting to really enjoy this one for a change. And then I read it, and yes, Murderbot is so cool, but I was just disappointed because of all the hype that surrounds it, and I didn't end up enjoying it myself. So sorry, but probably Murderbot off the top of my head. So yeah. Question number 10. The book from this year you'd recommend to anyone? Ooh, that is a difficult one, because as much as I love some of the books I've read, I don't know if I would recommend them to just anyone. Maybe The Hobbit? Because I feel like anybody could enjoy The Hobbit. It's a classic, it's easy to read. Even kids can read The Hobbit, like, I suppose older kids, but yeah, maybe I'll just go for that because it's an easier answer, and it's hard to recommend a book for anyone. Because, like I say, Gideon is fantastic, but I'm not going to shut up about Gideon ever, so yeah. But I would probably say The Hobbit if I had to choose something for anyone, because that is a very difficult question. And the next thing is to tag some people. So, trying to think of somebody who hasn't done this yet is quite difficult because I think everybody's done this. Let me just check. So I'll tag Coffee Over Apples, which is Steph's channel. She runs the Interstellar Book Club along with some other booktubers, and they're all pretty cool and they're all very nice over there. So I'll link them down below if you want to join. But I will tag Steph in this video. Who else should I tag? A lot of us tend to run in the same circles, so it's like hard to find somebody who hasn't already been tagged. I don't think Nico's done it yet, so I'll tag Nico from Nico's Book Reviews. And I genuinely just can't think of anybody off the top of my head who probably hasn't already done it or been tagged. So I'll just assume that you two haven't been tagged and tag you, even though you might have been. So if you want to do this tag, feel free. I'll leave the questions down in the description so that you can pluck them out and read them and do your video for this tag. I can't speak anymore, so I'm gonna have to go. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I will see you in my next video, hopefully, if you hit that subscribe button, and you'll see more content from me and my craziness. I'm just chaos, guys. See you in my next video. TTFN, bye!